Hello, everybody.
Hi.
It is Mary
And Amma.
and today we are reviewing Married at First Sight.
Yes.
And this time they're getting to meet the family. Well, not the
Like
families, but
the...
their childhood homes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we started with Jasmine and Michael, but we were like 30 minutes late. So, but from what we saw on the after party or whatever, it seemed like Jasmine was able to take Michael to see I guess her childhood place. I don't know if she did or not, but she was reading her childhood letter basically.
Yeah, a letter to her younger self.
Yeah, she basically got really sad, and she was kind of talking about how, I think her mom and her dad had abandoned her, and, school was her safe space, and one teacher made it all,
better.
Yeah, and everything. So it was really sad.
Let her feel seen.
Yeah, exactly. And they were crying. Well, he was trying to hold back his tears. She was crying and everything and trying to hold it back. Yeah. But I thought it was a really sweet moment. I'm so happy that she got super vulnerable, because this whole time I've been saying that she does not seem vulnerable, like, at all. Yeah. But I thought that was very lovely, actually.
She seems to be softening up.
Really softening up with Michael. And I'm just like, can we get the romance going? Because then y'all would be perfect.
It was such a missed opportunity, I think,
for
him.
He could have kissed her, because the way he looked at her, the way she looked at him.
Held her to comfort her.
Yeah. Wiped a tear from her eyes. Something like, I just like he
kissed her forehead.
Well, I think that she has scared him straight. When she accused him of saying that, you're aggressive, and you said that, he's like, so now we're accusing people of stuff. Oh, okay. And then you keep on saying that you don't feel that urge. So, of course, the man's already feeling rejected and stuff. So, he's like, let me not go and do some stuff. You say I'm accusing me. Myself, You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, now it's left up in your corner. And it's like...
Totally.
Why?
Totally.
So, Jasmine, I hope you plan one on him, because y'all really came from the gutter and made it up to the top. You know what I'm saying? So, let's get it going.
Was definitely in the gutter, that's for sure.
I was like, she is wrong for him. She is not being accountable. But they really came together quite beautifully.
They really did. And this just shows like the patience.
Yeah.
But he was very patient.
Yeah, that's the good thing about having a really good man who is patient, who is calm.
He was very calm.
Yeah.
He was very, very calm.
Not somebody like Olajuwon who's all over the place and yelling and cussing and getting at you and stay being the victim.
Yes.
Yeah, like for real. If she had that, it would have been a super toxic relationship on both parts.
Yeah, we're gonna come to him too.
Yeah, we got something
later. We have we'll come to him. But that was very nice. And then remember when Dr. Pepper came to talk to them? And she was asking how many kids do they want, and they were both like, yes, in a year and a half or so, we want kids.
He said 2 to 3 years, and she was like, well, I want kids in a year and a half. He said, okay, well, I didn't know that. So she was like, well, let's start trying within like 18 months. She was like, So he said, so that means that moves the timeline up a bit. And he said, but to have kids, you have to have sex.
That's what Dr. Pepper said. And they kind of laughed. But what I love about it is that they're looking at each other in their eyes now. As they're talking, and she has such beautiful eyelashes. She just flutters at him.
I think they're such a gorgeous couple.
I don't even think they realize that we are seeing the love between them. Like we are seeing them loving.
They both love each other already.
But it's like they don't realize that, But we, the audience, can see it. So it's very cute.
Y'all better say it's a decision date, because I would be very, very upset.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much, remember when Greg was telling Deanna, like, I am not going to be able to say yes if, like, the romance is not there at all. And we see on the preview for next time that he says, I mean, we didn't come here to
just be friends,
to have a friend. We came here for a relationship. So we'll see how that goes.
I think Jasmina just has to dive in, just one day kiss him. Or I think maybe what she should do is just have y'all talk about communication. Just be honest. Just be like, you know what, Michael? I don't know. I'm not feeling inclined, but you know what? I want to make this work. I'm okay with you touching or kissing me or whatever, you know? Don't be shy. We can move, you know? Like, or something. Like,
I
be
think
cute
it's
with
so
it.
outside of her comfort zone.
Girl, you better get out of your comfort zone. This is arranged marriage. You already out your comfort zone, honey.
I know.
So,
okay.
I mean, you might as well just jump in that pool. That chocolate pool. That dark
unconventional.
chocolate pool, honey.
Got a lower
That
eye
Michael
gaze.
pool.
Ooh, child. We have to lower our gaze. But yeah, so that was very nice to see.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your girl. Let's talk about your girl, Lindsay.
No, she's your girl. Don't even try that with me. But, Mark is your guy. And then Lindsay's my girl. Okay.
Mark is just like this.
So, Lindsay takes him to a wooded area.
No, but before that, they actually had a therapy session, but we missed it because I had to go get McDonald's. So, and Mom didn't know how to work the TV. So, anyway, I can't remember what happened with therapy.
Why are you saying it? Anyway, but
because they need to know why. But
yeah,
it was time for me to break my fast.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
what happened?
I don't know. Oh, anyway, they said apparently they had a breakthrough or something, whatever. We don't know. Y'all let us know what happened in the comment section.
Yeah.
But apparently they went, so, you know.
They spoke
let's talk about
themselves.
the house.
Remember?
Let's talk about him taking her. No, that happened. Well, let's talk about him going to the woods.
No, the cat. First, his cat.
Yes, boy.
Yeah, his cat is passing away. Remember? His cat
he's not passing away. He's putting him down.
Right. He's going to euthanize it because he has an infection in the eye.
And he has some sores on his body.
Yeah. And
I was crying. He
was holding the cat and she was comforting him. Sometimes I just feel like with Lindsay, you know, and I am a big, like, wanting to comfort someone, you know, but
can he breathe?
She does it overboard sometimes. Like, he's holding his cat. She is all here in his space.
She's like this.
She's like just, it's like, can this man...
Like, he can't even mourn his cat.
Can I just mourn my cat? Just me and this cat.
You don't even know him.
You, like, just engulfing me. And
then it's like you're standing there, it's like, the cat. So you be Mark with the dying cat.
Yes.
And then this is Lindsay. Time for him to go home.
She is looking all on the, like...
And he's like crying or whatever into her shoulder. And she's like smiling. This is not something to smile about. His buddy is dead.
Yeah, it's just...
He is dying.
Too much. It's too much with Lindsay.
I just thought she should have given him some room to breathe. You know what I'm saying?
She doesn't. And I think this is what irritates Mark. But how do you tell somebody...
Mom, she doesn't
who
listen.
is so sensitive that...
because if he says feel like Lindsay doesn't feel like she's doing any wrong, though. I feel like she feels like she's not doing any wrong.
The thing is, she wants to love him the way she may want to be loved.
People have different love languages.
But she's not realizing that the way you want to be loved and touched and comforted is not how he wants to be loved, touched, and comforted. And I think he's kind of like in this catch-22 because... You know, when anything you say about it's too much for me, it reminds her, it triggers her of her mom and dad, you know, telling her that she's too much. It's too much, you know. So it's like, what do? You know,
you just shut up and silence.
Especially, you know, I mean, someone is trying to hug you and stuff, then you have to rationalize your brain. Okay, well, I mean, why am I annoyed about this? But you just are. So she takes him, and
some wooded area.
Mark is not in shape. And
yeah,
I understand that because I am not in shape. She takes him to this wooded area as where she used to run away, right? I guess. As soon as he comes down from the car,
he's like, "What the hell are we doing here? There's no benches." Yeah. He said, "There's no benches. There's nowhere to sit." So he's already thinking about how he's going to be exhausted.
Yeah, because he's thinking, "Oh, are we sitting here and then you tell me your story? You know, read your letter to your younger self and talk to me?" Because he obviously does not want to stand. He's already feeling out of breath. But you say no. You're going for a hike. So You gotta go for the hike, right? So you're
with the mosquitoes and the insects, and this man is wearing sneakers. You're wearing boots, so it's like he's stepping over water in his sneakers
and then
that can
he
get
has
wet.
Shorts on, so all
he had long pants on.
Did he have long pants?
He had long pants on, but he just has sneakers on that can get water in them, and then next thing you know, your socks are wet. Yeah. But you're here wearing boots, but you didn't let me know to wear boots.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm walking all over the place. He's like, apparently Lindsay likes the woods. She likes flowers. I guess this is what helps her relax.
She takes out a flower and shoves it up his nose.
But he also sounded confessional that he was like, she might like this to relax, but I don't.
No.
That's what he said.
And you can tell from this is what I'm saying. She cannot read this man's body language. So she shoves this flower up her nose, and he goes like this. Okay, she's like, smell it. And he's like, okay. Like, my goodness. I am feeling traumatized of this. So I'm already tired just watching him look tired. So then she goes in the woods and she goes just inside the bush there.
And he's standing like...
And she's saying that this is what she does. And she's telling him, come on. He said, no, I'm good. She goes back in. Come on. No, I'm actually good. And, so she comes. She said, well, this is what I used to do. I used to go hide in this enclosure, find a beaten path, and then I'll make up my stories in my head, I guess, of how she wants her family to be, because there's a lot of chaos there. And she used to run away from her home and go to the neighbor's house until her parents will come and get her. But she, there was never love in her family, which is really sad. He is tired, though, so it's hard for him to really probably listen.
He was like falling asleep or something.
Physically, he's probably hurting. Anyway, she reads the letter to him, to her younger self. To me, that letter seemed more, as she was reading it, I felt like this whole letter could relate to Mark. Like what she doesn't want him to say to her, like, people will tell you you're not enough. No, people will tell you that you're too much. Oh, like it
seemed shady towards Mark.
Right. Oh. So there was a little bit of shade, and it wasn't a long letter. And when she was done, she holds it like this. It wasn't like any nostalgia to that. So that's why I thought it was more like a shade.
And Mark was like,
him.
He responded, he was like, oh wow. Like he was like he was close to opening his eyes. He was like, oh wow.
He doesn't know how to respond. Are you shading me? Am I like...
Is this a genuine letter?
Yeah, like, so he's watching her and he's like, okay, your younger self. And he said something very sweet. Your younger self would have been great. Your younger self, if your younger self has someone like you, how you are today. And held her hand.
And he's like, I don't always tell you or show you, but I want to just let you know. She's like, well, I'm seeing it today. I'm hearing it today, as she interrupts in mid-sentence.
Right. I remember what they spoke about when Dr. Pepper came. Because remember, he was like yelling at her. He was saying, like, I know how you want to be loved.
Oh,
and I can love you in all the ways that you want to be loved. Because I've done it many times before.
But you don't let me.
And then he tells her all the ways that, like, not only how he can show her love, but also all the ways he can show up for her. And he seemed to make an impact on her.
Yeah, but he also did say something that was interesting, that she doesn't let him do that.
Yeah.
Because you are smothering him.
Well, yeah, you have your... Like, Lindsay was... Anyway, so...
I mean, girl, let a man... Like, there's nothing wrong with who you are, but I feel like sometimes you have to realize when you can give your all and when to just sometimes kind of bring it back. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, because the thing is, we all have to kind of adjust. It's not changing who you are, but you just have to adjust sometimes to certain people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your husband.
Yeah.
You do not want him to be 2 years in, and he's like, I can't even be with you for another 2 seconds because this has felt like 20 years and it's only been 2 years. Yeah. You don't want that. Yeah. So I'm just saying, sometimes give a man space. Yeah. A man wants space sometimes.
Lindsay...
He knows you're going to be there for him, Lindsay. You don't have to overdo it. You really don't, honey.
This is just what she does. And then,
but then it's like she has this, like, complex where she's like, I'm right, you're wrong, you need to do better. He did not ask you to do all this. So you cannot get mad at him when you feel like you're giving your all and he's not giving everything. He didn't ask you to give your all. He said 50%. Actually, he said 30%, I think.
Because he wants her to dial it all the way back. Because for him, your 100% is too much for him. It's too much. It makes him feel uncomfortable. And you have to be able to hear him, but you're not hearing him.
Marriage is about compromise, y'all. It really is. And sacrifice. So, I'm not saying you gotta sacrifice who you are. Still keep that energy about you. Yeah. But adjust it sometimes. That's all I'm saying. You have to be able
to read the room.
Yeah.
Even with your spouse, you guys are not the same people. Like you were talking about love languages. Your love language may not be his love language. So maybe you like writing letters. And so you write letters all day long telling him how great he is. Maybe he
I don't like to read.
Maybe he you know what I'm saying? Maybe he wants you to touch him or something, but you never touch him, you always write letters. So but I tell him all the time I love him.
That's not my love language.
So it's like but she doesn't want to listen. This is the issue. That's why she has to go be in therapy for her issues, that she's not triggered
and putting it on him.
He's trying to just
be his best.
Express himself as to what his needs are. The other thing she did, and I just
we have to talk about when they went to his house, his childhood home, because I have some very important thing about that.
Yeah. They went.
What were you saying?
Well, they went to his childhood home.
Well, do you have something else to say?
No. That's after.
Okay.
I was going to talk about the after party with Elijah.
Oh, yeah.
So we can do that after. But yeah. They did go to his childhood home. And he really had he was talking about the father, that his father will sit at the end of the driveway, wave at people, and the mom will sit in the house.
And Lizzie was like, "Oh, what would your mom say? Like, would she say, 'Oh, dinner's ready'?" He said, "No." She would yell and be like, "Nobody wants you to talk to them. Nobody wants you to wave at them. Like, just get yourself in the house or whatever. Like, just random things."
For some reason, he enjoyed that, and he just thought he had really good memories at home.
Well, I think
he would like to buy that house if he could and live there with her and his family.
I felt like, when Lindsay responded to that, I didn't like the way she responded. Like, you could at least be open to it. Like, that could have been a vacation home. Like, y'all could have gone there sometimes. People have multiple homes. You could do that. Yeah. But for her to be like, no, I'm not competing with the past. Like, you're not competing with an ex-wife. You're not competing with another woman. You're not even competing. Like, this is his childhood home. This is where he feels at home.
Yeah,
but you're there saying that, I'll be in this house, I'll be in that house, I'll be in this house, but not in this house. Like, I feel like sometimes you have to acquiesce just a little bit. You don't have to live there full time. Like, it could literally be a vacation home that y'all go to for like Christmas, holidays.
That's a good idea too.
You know what I'm saying? But the man wants to have that home. Like, if I had an emotional attachment to a home, and I wanted to at least be able to purchase it, then I would want my spouse to be open to it. But she was just like, hell no, I'm not gonna compete with the past. I'm like, girl,
I can see why she doesn't want to live there, because sometimes, I don't know if I'll want to go live in a home that like your whole family, this is how they grew up, because then I don't know if I'll feel as though, is this my home, can I move things around?
Well, he said they could paint it,
but will you be wanting to keep things the way they were, like how so
there has to be a compromise, because if I move to your home, you have to be able to let me to redecorate the whole thing from top to bottom. But at least you've got the house and you know what the driveway looks like.
So he has so much attachment and a lot of nostalgia.
I just felt like she could have reacted better. She could be like, "Baby, that is so sweet." But so let's think about it. Let's not decide today. Let's
that's like a deal breaker for her, for sure.
I feel there's a lot of things that should be deal breakers with Lindsay, but Anyway.
But can we talk about the after, so that we're done with her and him?
Okay, and then talk about the next couple?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after the
after the show, there's the after party with the margaritas or whatever.
It was Michael,
Olajuwon. That one.
And Olajuwon starts crying and talking about his childhood and how
they're talking about his childhood letter because they never saw it.
Right. He never did share his childhood letter, and he was just saying his life growing up was really tough and all this stuff, and that's really why he really wants Katina to choose herself. And he is okay, yes, he's okay with her choosing.
We didn't tell them about what happened when they went to the therapist.
Right. Okay, well, yeah. Anyhow, he was talking about he's
which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, he was talking about he's tough.
Because of his upbringing,
upbringing. And then he starts to cry. He turns to Michael and he says, I can look at him and see that, he has had a tough upbringing and blah, 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 blah. And so Michael tells Keisha, the host, says, hey, can I go over there and give him a hug?
But it was so emotional. This man really was crying. Like, his face was all red.
Yes.
He was like, so they just going on about, seeing another strong black man who looks like me and, has gone through the same things. Right. It's just really powerful. Like, you couldn't talk about yourself. You had to bring Michael in. And Michael don't even like you.
Well, I would have, I think Michael, actually, he did talk about, like I said, when I first met him, he seemed to be a lot. But then what I do like about him is that his authenticity, and his willingness to talk about who he is.
What I love about Michael is that he's... What I love about Michael is that he's very diplomatic.
Yeah, that's what diplomatic. Yeah. So he gets up, he hugs him. Lindsay gets up and hugs. Like, she couldn't leave them to have this moment. She gets up. You see that mammy thing? Hugs both of them.
Keisha, of course Keisha has to because she's a black woman.
Gets up now and goes and hugs and, and was like, oh, okay, all right. And so they, move on about their business and they all go sit down. But Lindsay doesn't sit down. She turns to Elijah when he's trying to sit down to hug him again by herself, to tell him it's really good what you're doing. And it's just too much. I was just imagining Mark being there and just being horrified. I could see Mark there.
He would be like
rolling, like, oh my God. Oh boy, I was just
Lord.
Can we just have a moment without you touching me? Now, what if they had kind of gone like this? Then she would have been crying. She would have been very upset.
I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. I'm done. Grab her glass and be gone. So anywho, that was...
But let's talk about Katina and Olajuwon. Because
let's talk about Katina and Olajuwon.
But yes, well, anyway, he was talking about at the after party that there was some bike in his neighborhood that was broken up or whatever. He was like, you had never been to the hood if you didn't try to ride on a broken scooter or whatever. And then when he removed the scooter or whatever, that it said that all these lives were lost or something like that, about death or something. All the lives were wasted. So he had taken her to the neighborhood and he was like, I know I act tough and stuff like that or whatever, but this is where I came from. Like, this is what I've been through. My thing is, it's an excuse for you to give yourself some pass for it to be an asshole. Yeah. My thing is, Michael
and you're not acting tough. You're just a jerk.
You're just a jerk. Like, you're really just a jerk. Tough. It's not about I'm in a tough neighborhood. I have to be tough. Michael had his brother murdered in front of his home when he was like 4 or 5. Yeah. You do not see him there being an A-wipe to Jasmina. You do not see that. But so it's just an excuse that you want to go and say that, it's
a state of mind. And if you're unable to manage your emotion, you're not tough at all.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, no self-control. But they would go around and turn to Michael and say that I see another black man. First of all, you are biracial. Okay,
I mean, he looks biracial. So it was just...
He said he was Irish and African American. That's what I heard in the beginning.
Yeah, did he say that to Katina's family?
He did.
When they tried to say he was black or something.
Yes, but he said
corrected them.
No, I'm Irish.
Yeah, so
and I'm African American.
So he's
that's
Irish.
my
I remember
thing. So
that.
When it's convenient for you, you want to go and say, "Oh, he looks like me." Da da da. Yeah. You guys are two different people.
He does not look like.
You know what I'm saying? He does not. And my thing is, I feel like he does not like Michael. I feel like he has some type of envy towards Michael. Because even he said that, it's the first time that I'm seeing Jasmina and Michael be genuine like that or open like that. I'm like, you have got to be lying. Because she was crying in front of y'all at the retreat, talking about how much she liked him or whatever. Holding hands. And they've had many moments like that.
So, there's some jealousy. There's a little bit of, like,
but the thing is,
that he has
he doesn't like Michael because he is everything that he is not.
Yeah.
And because Michael is actually good to Jasmina, it makes him look horrible by the way that he treats Katina.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes, and I guess people who are biracial can talk about this more. Sometimes when you have grown up and you're biracial in a predominantly black neighborhood, sometimes you're not accepted.
Yeah, let's say you're not black enough or whatever the case may be.
So you don't really see if you can fit in. So sometimes I think that's where that envy from the past may come in. Like sometimes you just have to have that. So anyhow, those of you who are biracial, let us know.
I feel like it just really, when he sees Michael and sees the way he treats his woman, it really just makes him look horrible. He likes to be perceived in a certain way. Yeah. And when you have Michael who has gone through more stuff than him, apparently from what I know, it makes him look bad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
There are a lot of things about his past that he hasn't resolved yet.
Yeah.
Like, when he says, I was the only one who got out of my neighborhood, a lot of people are either dead or they haven't been able to get out of their life or whatever.
I mean, that's a good thing.
It's a great thing what he has accomplished. But obviously there's something that he hasn't really resolved. And that's why he is doing the things that he's doing.
My thing is
misbehaving the way he does.
I mean, we talked a little bit about this. But I don't think he likes women. Not like in a way that he is gay, but like in a way that he just does not respect them,
or he has some mother issues. This is what
or whatever
I think.
The case may be.
He has some
I hate when we sit issues
from the past.
I just don't like when we sit there and say he has mother issues and then let's blame.
Maybe it's not mother, but what I'm saying is there's something.
Because the way you treated women, the way you said you did, where you say you slept with the mother and then you slept with the daughter.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you said that you have been screwing all these women and all this stuff. And then you come with Katina and you talk down her and you degrade her, and then you're extremely sexist.
Yeah.
Like you have no awareness, and as if you're always right. And then you go to Dr. Pepper, you're about to go off on her. Yeah. Because she's making you look bad. It's just, you don't like women. You don't respect women. Yeah. And you can tell by the way you treat women. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
When I say mother issues, it doesn't mean that though something happened or the mother was mean or whatever. What I'm just saying is that...
Or maybe he could have a resentment that had nothing to do with the mother.
Maybe he has childhood issues that stems from maybe someone who raised him. I don't know if his mom is there in his life like that. I haven't really heard him mention her. I don't remember.
He hasn't mentioned any of his parents. That's why we don't know much about this man. But we always know him talking
to his friends. We see him talking to friends, but I haven't seen him talking to a family member yet. Even at the wedding, did we meet any family members?
But that guy from that Married at First Sight season, Matt and Amber, the really tall guy who ended up cheating on her. He had nothing but his friends there. He had no family.
Yeah, no family.
So I also think that it was not serious for him.
Yeah.
So he's here saying that, I'm serious.
His family. Yeah.
But this fool had the nerve to tell the camera.
Yeah.
That, if I was Katina, I would just focus on myself for 2
years.
Choose myself. I would choose myself. I will hammer down. I will focus. First of all,
he did say mom.
His mom said that his mom was a single mother. She did it all. But he said, you know what? I would tell Katina just focus. You don't like her. And from the moment you saw her walk down the aisle, you're like, oh my God,
and
damn.
He said his father was not around. He did say that, right? Because just like Katina,
well, I think he said he lost his father.
He lost his father.
So his father was because remember he was at the after party and he was saying that either he said either him or Michael's father had died or he did. No, Elijah said his father
lost his father, but his father was not around.
Yes, because his father died. I know Michael had 4 people who died.
Yes,
I think it was his brother, his mom, his brother, and then there was somebody else, another sibling, I believe. But his father was not around, so I'm thinking maybe he had.
I don't know what he doesn't go into details.
Yeah, I don't know if his mother was Caucasian, his dad was black, or if it was vice versa.
Yeah. But he did say that, you know, my mom always said, if you love something enough, let it go. And then if it comes back to you, then it's yours.
Listen, this is not a Bennifer love flick. This is not that. You do not love her.
Like a long time ago, but
if you love something enough, let it go. And if it comes back to you, it's true love. Which I believe, because look at Bennifer. I mean, look at them.
Yeah. If you
it's a green diamond, y'all. She's engaged.
I know. If you love Katina, if you really love her, you will actually take care of her, right?
When she's doing
and let her finish school.
Which I don't make no sense.
It makes no sense.
Like you said, so let her be free, but you're going to do everything, and I'm not going to help you.
He's like, because I want to travel. And you go travel, and probably she'll be at peace when you're gone. And, you know, take care of her while she finishes nursing school. After all, she also works from the home, so she can work remotely from the home, be in nursing school at the same time. And if she's available, she can travel with you. If not, you can go travel by yourself.
And you know what?
If you love her, you can do that.
And you know what also you can do?
But you don't want this woman. From the moment she walked down that aisle, I already said he did not like her. He's not into her.
Yeah.
And you have just been trying to find all kinds of ways to get rid of her.
But you know what also they could have done? They could have actually waited after 2 years to have kids.
And then have kids after 2 years, because he doesn't want kids right away anyway.
Kids, because like you said, you were telling me the other day that most of the time, sometimes people get married and they have kids right away, but most of the time that's not the case. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, you know, the body has to get used to everything going on.
So sometimes, you know, you may not even have children right away.
You sound like you might not even be able to get pregnant. Yeah. Like your plan is not God's plan.
But at the same time, she has already said she doesn't want to have kids until after 2 years. You yourself, Elijah, want to say you don't want to have kids right now.
Yeah. So why is this an issue?
This is a non-issue.
This is a non-factor.
But he don't
want her. That's why. So you know what's
going to happen? And so he starts to cry because he's trying to get sympathy from the producers, and then of course Michael and Lindsay will even tell him, I mean, come on, you guys can still be together. And he starts to cry. Like, I didn't see tears. Did you see the tears?
His eyes look quite dry to me.
But he was rubbing.
Made his face all red.
Yes, rubbing it. Just like, I love her so much. Even the producer was like, so you say yes a decision there or not? And the producer was like, whatever.
But you know what? This is what I'm going to say. Because he's going to set her up like Zach did with Michaela. Yeah. He's going to say all this sweet stuff, get you all into it, and of course the experts like so idiots you can are going to ask her first instead of asking
and then
him.
She will say yes, and then he'll say no. And he will get his high from that. Because,
and then he'll be having a sickly smile.
This is why I wonder, does he even like women? You know, in terms of, do you even like women? Like, do you?
That's not to say you're gay or anything.
But that's just to say you don't have an affection for them.
You don't care for them.
You don't care about them. You're not considerate about them.
There are plenty of straight men who do not like women. Just look at
like that. Yeah, women in your past, or maybe as a child, whatever. Maybe you got hurt by them or whatever.
My thing is, men get heartbroken one time in high school, and then every woman has to suffer after that.
So, I mean, he was trying to say, though, that he had kind of dealt with this before, with a woman before.
Oh, no, he said his ex was, I guess she was in school or whatever, and that, I guess it didn't work out, whatever, some of that. Now, you're talking about some ex that we ain't never heard before. Boy, go somewhere. You don't like her, you don't want to be with her. That was the first time
he talked about the ex. This man has been grasping at straws and looking for anything. He's like, damn. And she's not like Michaela. She doesn't go off, so you can't. You're unable to say.
No, she's just very mute.
Yeah,
she just shrinks.
So you're unable to say, oh, you know, there goes another angry black woman. See, this is why I can't have her. So he can't use that as an excuse. First of all,
you made it very clear that you have never dated them seriously. You just used to hook up with them.
He did say he has never dated a black
woman. Which
I
thought was a red flag, and Katina was there really defending him. No, right? You know, that was just...
Especially when he identified last minute about him being black, like his brother Michael. So that was very interesting. I just remembered that. That is so true.
I remember everything this fool said.
He did say, and it wasn't even... he didn't tell us that he just hooked up with them. It was Katina who said in the confessional that he actually has. She told her friend.
No, her friend said that he's never dated. No, what he did is he told the friends that I've never dated them seriously. Black women. She was like, "Have you ever dated black women?" He's like, "No, not on a serious basis." And then Katina's like,
No,
"Yeah, I mean, well, he told me that he just hooked up with them because the friend brought it to her attention in the first place."
He told them, "I've never dated a black woman." That's what he told the friend. And so the friend brought it up to her, and then she's like, "Oh no, he has, but not on serious. He just slept with them." Exactly. Is
that supposed to be better? Like, I'm confused.
Exactly. And so that's so that was odd. So he has
black women do not want anybody that does not want them.
He has
but
issues.
I just thought that was very
Elijah
odd.
One has a lot of issues.
That's Katina don't need to be fixed. She do not need to be no rehabilitation center for no grown ass man.
Yeah, and because even she has
she said no offense, but it's actually really exhausting and draining sometimes.
Yes, but you know what he
said the other day that he told her to just shut up.
Shut the F up.
And then he said that
talking. And then he ran.
He said he went to the bathroom, and then he said, I apologize right away. Now, the point of him saying that was that, the thing is, we can argue, and it's like, I go take a pee, and I
come back.
And we are good again. I'm sorry, but I'm still right. But she looked, her bags were so low.
I know.
So, obviously, she's not over it. You're here thinking that y'all are over it, but she's probably like, this mother effer.
And Dr. Pepper was still stuck on the... Shut the F up.
And she's like, oh, I guess that's growth.
How did that affect her? She asked her. And so that's when she said, sometimes it's just too much. He can be too much for me,
Girl, if he breaks up with you, that would be a blessing from God.
I know.
That would be a mother watching out for you.
She looked like she patted the weed.
She was like...
in the preview. And when a woman goes...
That part was so deep.
Holding her head like this, she is really hurt. So so we'll see that.
Well, it's the finale next weekend. But is there anything happening with Noe and Steve?
Noe and Steve.
Well, I think she had read. They went to his childhood home. His parents still live there.
I think he understands more about her when she read that letter to
My
him.
thing is, they just need to show each other's bank account information. Yeah. Like, why are we not... Well, the thing is, he can't trust her. Because you run social media. Yeah. Last thing I need is for you to say, my rich husband got behind it. And then it's like, rich husband? Who's rich? I thought he had no job.
I saw that bank account. This is what it said. Bring the tax, the IRS his way.
Exactly. So that's my thing. Girl, you were just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to live in separate homes. Like, my thing is,
and
you have your apartment. You can have it. That's fine, girl. But you want to live separately?
That man is not going to go for that.
He's looking at you like,
He was silent, looked to her, looked at the floor. And Dr. Pepper was like, well, me and my husband, we live separately now. Now, this is her second marriage. Her first marriage was for 23 years.
And she had kids.
And she was raising the children with her husband in the same house.
So that does not go for you and Noe and Steve, because that's where y'all are trying to be at.
Exactly. The second marriage, they've been together for 16 years. Okay, obviously the kids are grown, because she was with this one for 23 years. Obviously the kids are grown, doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Now you're really with this guy, he's probably settled in one state, you settled in another state, and you guys meet up, and that's okay for this stage in your life, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Why you thought this was okay for them, and you brought up your personal stuff, I don't know.
She should have never said anything, because
it does not apply
to them. They are trying to have kids. They're trying to start a family.
So, Steve is not going to go for that.
He's not going to go for that. Who wants to... I guess there are some people who want to be in those marriages. But me personally, look, if I cannot see you every day, and I can't touch you every day, we going to have a problem. We are actually going to have a problem.
Yeah. And he grew up in a home...
where his mom and his dad are still living in the same house. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And and the mom has all these mementos from...
And she has even set up a place for the grandkids there and everything. Like, girl, if you want to throw that away on foolishness and being immature, girl, release that man. Another one will be very happy to have him.
Like you say, release him from the
shackles of your craziness. Hello.
Yeah.
But yes, so
that was it.
Married at First Sight, yes. But thank you guys for watching. It is Mary.
And Amma.
And we invite you guys to like,
share,
subscribe,
and comment
down below. We love the comments. We love the support.
I know.
Yes. Good evening.